there, everybody. Welcome to Fabulous Health Show. My name is Terry Chrisman. I'm your host. I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist, and this podcast is all about helping you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. Today, we're going to talk about how to incorporate small daily habits into your life that can result in amazing positive changes to your health. But before we start, I just want to tell you where you can get this podcast. You may be watching me live on Facebook or live on YouTube. I go live every day at 10 a.m. Central Time US in October 2021. If you're listening to this later, I may be on at a different time, but you just have to check and see. I'm also available on podcasts directly after this live, and I load them to things like Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, all the Podcast Addict, the whole bunch of them. And you can see a list of those if you go to my website, fabuloushealth.net. And before we start, I just want to show you something very exciting, and I'll just see if I can look in the mirror, in the camera. This just landed yesterday. It's my new Fabulous Health mug. It's got the Fabulous Health logo on it, and it says, "Eat plants, be fabulous." So that's available on my website now in the shop. And I also have this one, which I really love. It says friends, and then there's little pictures of animals, little cartoon pictures of animals, and then a little arrow, and then it says food, and then there's little cartoon pictures of fruits and vegetables. So if you want one of these fantastic cups, you can get them at my website, fabuloushealth.net. Enough self-promotion. Okay, here we go. Today we're talking about positive changes in your daily routine that will turn into lasting changes in your health. So the first thing I need to tell you is that you can't really change what you do unless you know what you do. So a lot of the things that we do are automatic, they're habits, and they may not be very beneficial to our health. So let's call those unhealthy habits. And so what you need to do is recognize what those unhealthy habits are. Do you sit on the couch every night after dinner and eat a packet of corn chips? Do you, after dinner, do you watch TV and not go for a walk? Do you always have a cookie every time you have a cup of tea? Do you always choose syrup in your coffee when you go to Starbucks and then you have a muffin? Just things like that they do automatically on a daily basis and you don't even know. So we're going to address that shortly. But first, I want you to think about monitoring your habits. So measuring them. So if you want to know if you're losing weight, for example, you take measurements. You take measurements today, you take measurements next week and the week after and the week after and the week after, and you might even use a scale, although the scale is usually not your friend, and that's another podcast, I can tell you right there. You might use a journal. There's a magnificent habit tracker journal on my website, fabuloushealth.net. Just go to the Amazon store page and you'll find a fantastic tracker there by a guy called James Clear, and I'm going to talk to you about him in just a moment. And some of the habits that you could track, healthy habits you could track, include your water consumption, what you have for breakfast. I propose vegetables for breakfast. If you have veggies for breakfast, give yourself a tip. How many fruit servings you have a day, whether or not you do your exercise, and other less obvious habits like saying no to unhealthy foods in a situation or saying no to alcohol. These are all really small wins on your journey to optimal health. And if you monitor them, you're more likely to stick to them. So tracking them also reminds you to do them. So, okay, saying no to healthy foods, that's not like you won't remind you to say no to healthy foods. But if you tick every time you say no to healthy foods, that gives you the impetus to do it again, and you're more likely to do that habit in the future. And same with exercise. If I tick off my exercise every single day and then I walk past my fridge and I see that today's exercise is not ticked off, then I'm more likely to go up to the gym and do that exercise. So I want to give big kudos to a man called James Clear. You can find him at jamesclear.com, and he wrote a magnificent book called Atomic Habits. And you can also get that book at fabuloushealth.net on my Amazon store page. And I do borrow a lot of his teachings for this podcast. So the thing that James says, and I really, really resonate with this, is make your habits that you want to change really, really easy. Don't start with a really difficult habit. So, for example, if you've never gone to the gym, don't say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour and a half every day, and that's going to be my new habit. No, it's not. You're not going to do that. That is going to be really, really difficult for you to do. Make your new healthy habits something very, very simple. So, for example, one of my healthy habits is have a glass of water before I do anything else in the morning. Now, how easy is that to do? Do I forget it sometimes? Yes, because my husband wakes up and says, do you want a coffee? You're okay. But while he's making the coffee, what do? I have a glass of water because I remember, yes, you need to have a glass of water before you do anything else. That's a really, really easy habit to adopt. And when you start a new healthy, easy habit and you continue it for a while, it gives you confidence that you can start a new habit and make it part of your life. And then once you've really ingrained that habit into your life, that's when you start a new habit. So you master the first one and then you start the second one. The other thing that you want to do is that you want to make the habit easy to do as opposed to it being an easy habit. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So, for example, just say you want to start a habit of eating 2 pieces of fruit a day. Well, if you put your fruit in the back of the fridge, wrapped in plastic behind all the other stuff, the likelihood that you are going to eat that fruit twice a day is small. But if you buy your fruit, then wash it and put it in a fruit bowl front and center in the middle of your kitchen or on the side table, every time you walk past it, you're going to see that fruit. And that fruit is going to be a reminder to you to eat the fruit. So because it's in front of you, you're going to be more likely to do it. The same with veggies. If you say, I want to get 5 servings of vegetables into my day, having them stuffed at the back of the fridge or in the freezer is not helping you. Okay, frozen veggies, they have to be in the freezer. But let's say they're fresh veggies, have them pre-cut in clear containers like mason jars or clear Tupperware so that you can see them, so that when you open the fridge, the first thing you see are those cut up vegetables. And it's very easy for you to grab a handful of cherry tomatoes and some baby carrots, stick them in a bowl and munch on them than it would be if you had to cut them up and get them all ready. If you want to make working out a habit, lay your workout clothes on the end of your bed the night before, so that when you wake up, the first thing you do is you put those shoes on and that exercise gear. And even if you get way late in the morning, like you have to make some breakfast, you got to walk your dog, you got to feed the kids or whatever, you're in your exercise gear. Don't be one of those people that just wears their exercise, what do they call, active wear? I'm in my active wear. Don't be one of those people that just wears your active wear to look cool. Go and get some exercise in it. That reminds me, I saw this fantastic YouTube video. It was like a little song about wearing your active wear. It was done about 18 months ago or something by some Australian ladies. It was so funny. Try and check it out on YouTube. I think it's called I Wear My Active Wear or something like that. It's hilarious. And so if you can make healthy habits easy, you can also make unhealthy habits hard. So let's think about some unhealthy habits that you might do right now. So if you eat your dinner and after dinner, you sit on the couch and you eat a bowl of ice cream, you want to make that unhealthy habit more difficult. So what you can do is after dinner, instead of going to the lounge room and sitting in front of the TV, Go into another room and do something else. Even if it's reading a book, playing a game, playing with your dog, but break the habit by doing something else. And then it won't end, and it could be something different every single day. It doesn't really matter, because what you don't want to do is sit on the couch, eat a bowl of ice cream, watching the TV. So you could call somebody on the phone, you could do some of your tax or whatever. It doesn't matter what you do, but you want to break the habit by doing something else. If you want to go for a walk after dinner, but your habit is to sit on the couch and watch TV, what you can do is you can put your walking shoes next to the TV, so that when you go, or next to the couch, so that when you go to sit on the couch and watch the TV, there are your walking shoes reminding you to go for a walk. You can put your remote control in a cookie jar on a high shelf, so that if you want to watch TV, you actually have to get out the step ladder, reach up to the high shelf, open up the cookie jar, get the remote control. That's a real effort. So if it takes that much effort to sit on your butt and watch TV, maybe you'll go for a walk or play with the dog or do some exercise or do something else. The other thing that you can do is set an alarm. I really, really agree with this. And I work so much better, I work so much better when I have an alarm, because it just basically says to me, get off your butt, go and do what you need to do. And whatever it is that you are going to do, eat ice cream on the couch, then you're not going to do that. If you get the after dinner munchies, firstly, don't buy the bad food. Now, I know that's really hard, and you can be like, yeah, that's impossible, Terry, because I'm addicted to it, blah, blah, blah. And again, that's another podcast. But if you've got the food in your house, hide it, put it in the back of a cupboard, put it in the garage where you have to go and get it, put it in containers that you can't see through. And again, just like the remote control, put it in a really high shelf that you actually have to get out the step ladder to get up and get it. And so what you do is you break the pattern of the bad habits. So let me know how you've managed to turn your unhealthy habits around into healthy habits. I'm really, really interested in your comments. I'd love to chat to you. Let me know what you've done to make your day more healthier. Now, tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to eat healthily when you are on a budget. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you same time tomorrow. And I want you all to have a very, very fabulous day. See you later.